We purchased the do-it-yourself miniature model bakery and we wanted to share our experience building it. The Rolife brand has many different kinds of setups to choose from. I'll include the Amazon link we use in the description. I set up the Osmo to shoot a time lapse of the build. I must say the pieces are very delicate, so handle with care. Get familiar with the manual because everything you need will be in there. I suggest opening the bags one by one and keeping all items organized nearby. Use the tools it comes with. It'll help you handle and put together the pieces. Be careful with cutting the tip to the glue too wide because it can get messy if you over apply. Putting together the walls and applying the wallpaper was a fun way to start. I was nervous and hoping everything aligned right. Don't forget to cut out the little spaces in the wallpaper so that you can interlock your pieces. I didn't want any bubbles on the wallpaper, so I applied enough glue to be able to press down and flatten it all out. This project took me a few days because of the amount of time I was able to put aside for it. I cut out the design to the floorboard and the walls. Glued the design paper to it and let it dry. Again, carefully applying and aligning everything. As I mentioned before, cut out those little spaces to be able to interlock. This part of the wall that holds the window is wallpapered on both sides and will require some glue into the window framing. This part of the assembly you get to glue frames on some of the signs on the walls. The alignment of the walls can be tedious. It might seem like you need to force it in, but be careful how much pressure you use. You don't want to snap or bend the walls. It's coming along well. Adding the door and gluing the frame to make sure it stays in place. The following step is to connect the wires from the battery to the overhead light. I'll be the first to say that electric is not my specialty, and it took me a lot of tries to get the wiring to connect and stay connected. I struggled with getting a steady current, but it finally worked after many retries. There is a specific way that the manual wants you to trace the wiring along the overhead beams in the bakery. You can glue the store sign to the beam once you're done with securing the light. Connect the wires to the battery and secure it behind the store in the compartment. The next few steps is building the furniture and gluing the tiny door handles. This is probably the part I was looking forward to the most. There is something about miniature furniture that calms me and Lila down. The way it looks, the way the doors open. Next, I got my fingers super messy gluing the yellow shelf together. But I didn't mind. I always wanted to be some sort of artist as a kid. Doing these projects remind me more about who I am and the things I admire. Have you ever built something from start to end? How was your experience? I definitely wasn't aware that so much concentration and skill was needed to make these miniatures come to life. I began to realize this project's not something you can rush. Even though I set time aside, I was always racing time and trying to do the most in the least. And that's no way to do passion projects. I'll alter my outlook and put more focus on the quality time I'm spending with Lila. The Osmo died while building the centerpiece, but I picked it up the next day. Now it's time to build the food, trays, bags, and other little assortments. I like to include my kids. I know what they like, or would like. With all the digital options, it was nice to do something crafty. Lila has been able to add food from her Miniverse toys to the bakery. It's always cool when you can mix and match brands to give your model more detail. We've been able to add some coffee cups, soft drinks, and other snacks to the bakery menu. I carefully cut out the parts of the trays and pieced it together using some glue. I used the drop to glue the tray paper down and added the food. I didn't glue the food because I wanted the option to rotate different goods. Putting together the plant was easy, but somehow I misplaced the rose. This next step of making the pastry boxes with the food you can see through the window, it required a lot of patience. It felt like I was going to crush the little box. And I like how sweet the cake display case looked when put together. These mini boxes and bags that go in the displays look really good. And I like that we got a few to play with. The little clear box comes with a piece that needs to be cut. I didn't do it for the first piece, but I did it for the second. I should have done it for both, but once the glue was in, I didn't want to compromise the casing just to cut it. This next part, where you have to cut the plastic and make the wrapping, was difficult for me. I made so many mistakes and just felt like I didn't have the skills or the fingers for this. Gluing the labels on the mini containers was super easy using the tweezers. It was great for handling the items and placing it inside of the miniature furniture. All the little items look great, and even better once you start piecing it all together. Some of the pieces are going to require glue so that it can stay in place and not tip over. So this is the moment of truth. What do you think? How does it look to you? I like all the details this bakery comes with. All the little pastries and decorations really made it all come to life. My daughter looks at it and plays with it, and I hope it inspires her to become some sort of business owner when she becomes an adult. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe and notification button for new content. Thanks for being part of our YouTube journey. Peace and love.